I'm Gemma Sugrue and this is Soul in the City. As an artist, I don't know if I'm actually an artist officially, but I'm definitely a singer. I have been singing, I suppose, since I was in school. I took singing lessons when I was about 16, 17. I had a classical vocal coach, and I ended up going away for a few years with an Irish dance show, and then came to Cork. So I'm from Kerry originally. Came to Cork and I did the BMOS in the School of Music and the Masters. And that was all in classical vocal performance. But while I was doing the degree, I was asked to sing in a band maybe in second year, and it was basically a Motown cover band, and it was my first time really getting to, I would have been a bedroom soul singer, and out in the public I was singing classical stuff. So that was a totally new experience for me, and on the set list it was like Aretha Franklin, Dusty Springfield, the Supremes, Martha and the Vandellas, and it was so much fun. They were an amazing band. The band at the time actually ended up getting signed the following year as O Emperor, and they were from Waterford. So that was my first band experience. I was very lucky to get to be with those guys for my first band experience. So I suppose that kind of lit the fire in me to pursue that kind of music a little bit more, even though I'd always been listening to that type of music as a teenager. And then I ended up doing a summer camp, like running a summer camp with a friend of mine, Leisha Leahy, and we had loads of teens in the summer camp who were all really influenced by people like Amy Winehouse, Adele, you know, great soulful singer-songwriter types. And we kind of decided, God, there's nothing really for them to go, you know, to kind of keep this up and keep it going. So that's why we ended up deciding to set up VoiceWorks. We didn't really envision them going down the path that we went down, which we both did the classical route of education. And then I suppose the stage schools as well, they were a little bit more left of centre. So that's why we ended up setting up VoiceWorks, that would kind of nurture that individuality and those ones that are a bit more into the soul and pop stuff. So that took over my life for about, this has been running for 5 years, and then I've been doing bits and bobs. I've been doing backing vocals, I've been doing different kinds of bands. I've recently been doing that thing with the RT Concert Orchestra and Jenny Green, which is very exciting. We're doing a gig this Friday in the 3 Arena. So yeah, that's kind of been the journey so far. There's been lots of other things going on, but I've been a singer and teacher for the last decade. Mixed. I do a little bit of songwriting, but primarily I'm a singer and a teacher. I like, just because I was only talking about it there, the comparison of singing classical music to soul music was so, they really differ. In that classical is about the detail and the finesse, and obviously it's really expressive and beautiful, but it's very detailed. Soul, what I lacked from that was that kind of spontaneity, to be kind of adhere to the moment and to the people that are there and the atmosphere and the vibe, and you don't really get to do that in classical, and that really switched me on as a performer and made me really love it, that it was something kind of raw and unapologetic and real, and it's for everyone and everyone gets it. And I think soul for me is raw and unapologetic expression. I love the people in Cork. Cork is people for me, and it's why I've ended up staying here for so long. I moved from Kerry to Cork to go to college, and I don't see myself living anywhere else. And it's because of the people, because of the community we have here is really, really strong. And like, look at in the world places where there was a really good collective energy. So like Motown came out of a collective energy where you have everybody working together, artists, musicians, producers, songwriters, and that's when something really special starts happening. And I think that happens in Cork. Like Seattle is where we got grunge, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. They all came from that one place. Like there was something bubbling up, but that's because again of the collective energy. And the best example of that is Muscle Shoals. It's a documentary on Netflix. If you get a chance to watch it, definitely watch it. It's about this small town in Alabama where the Aretha Franklin recorded, like Wilson Pickett started it off. After that, like Otis Redding and the Rolling Stones ended up going down there and recording there, but they were kind of country musicians who just put together a studio, and they ended up getting Wilson Pickett to record there, and that kind of sparked off a chain of events after that. But nobody could believe that Aretha Franklin's band were all white guys from Alabama. And like it's just phenomenal. This small little swamp town that was really isolated was where that music came from. It's what's influenced Van Morrison the most. It's and like that connection of Irishness then to soul music is really strong. Like the best Irish film is The Commitments. Like Ireland and soul are together forever. Like there's a big strong connection. So Cork, long story short, is people and the collective energy. That's why soul works here. I use music the same way people would use yoga or meditation or exercise. It's my thing that gets me into the moment or gets me into the present moment, makes me feel good, and I really find it's the best way to connect with people. It does, I'm not always successful, because you know, you've a lot of stuff going on in your head and you're trying to be real on stage, but when you are real and when you can see that people have gotten it and that everyone is together in that one moment, it's really special. And when you find that, you'll just keep chasing that. And I think soul, coming back to that spontaneous nature of the music, you can create a unique moment where you've expressed something that's a surprise to you as much as it is a surprise to everyone in the room. And I find soul music brings that out of me the best anyway.